In this video, we're going to cover how to post suppliers and vendors into QuickBooks Online. So to add a supplier into QuickBooks Online, you can do it through QuickBooks Online, but most of our posting is done in Dext. So it doesn't really make sense to go to QuickBooks to enter a supplier and then back to Dext, and then you've got to refresh everything, and then you can add your expense. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to enter those vendors directly from Dext through the way that Dext is integrated with QuickBooks Online. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that. You're going to go into Dext Prepare, into the client, and then into the cost inbox. And whenever I'm working in the inbox, I always click supplier a couple times until I sort by alphabet. I like alphabetical order. So if I scroll down here, I'm going to see a couple home hardware. So these are the ones we're going to do. So I'm going to click on home hardware. And I'm going to see that we're buying something that's obviously for repairs and maintenance. So my general ledger account is going to be repairs and maintenance. And of course, we always have the general ledger numbered so that we can take the number of that general ledger account and we can add it directly to the name of the vendor. We do this for consistency. Sometimes someone else may be working on the file that you usually work on, and you wouldn't want them to, instead of putting this in repairs and maintenance, to put it in supplies, for example, and then you've got a big mess at the end of the year with things in two different places. So in order to have consistency, we always put the general ledger number in the name. You will note that occasionally there may be vendors where we post to more than one general ledger. If that's the case, we would put various at the end. So we would go home hardware and then in brackets various, and that would show that it's going to be in a few different accounts. But this one is just going to be repairs and maintenance. So the first thing we've got to do is go to our QuickBooks file and see what account that is, what the account number is for repairs and maintenance. So over here to QuickBooks, now you can see I have different Googles set up, different Google Chrome identities set up. So I'm going to go into this one. Here I am in Abdul K. I've already opened it up. And I'm going to go to the chart of accounts using my shortcuts that I have set up here. And the easiest way is just to go Control F on your keyboard and then type in REP repair, I guess, until we get it. So, and I hit enter a couple times. Now I've got repairs and maintenance, 67200. So remember that number, write it down, punch it in your calculator, whatever you got to do, 67200. Now we're going to go back over here to Dext. And we're going to change this to, and you have to type the whole thing in, home hardware, bracket 67200, end bracket, add. Now we've added home hardware. So we can go ahead and we can post this, 67200. We can set it all up and we'll go through how to do all of this in another video. So the point is, however, there's two things that are still going on. One is if we go back to these suppliers, so now we have two suppliers. We have the original home hardware and we have the new home hardware. So I'm searching here to find the home hardware. See, now I've got two. I don't want two. I only want this one with the number on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on both and I'm going to merge them. And I'm going to select this one with the numbers because this is the only one I want. And then I'm going to hit merge. Now I only have one home hardware and I can go back to costs and I can continue entering the bill here. So again, I would be clicking supplier a couple times, getting everything alphabetized. And then here, now see how they're both with that account number at the end. That's how we want all of our vendors set up, so that when we start posting into QuickBooks Online, all this information, including the account number, transfers over. So make sure when you're working in Dext Prepare, if you're adding a new vendor, someone that we haven't bought something before, you want to do this. Another thing to do though, is if you think they may have been entered already, and because remember that Dext Prepare is just sort of auto reading all of these receipts. They're using their AI and sometimes they can screw up. So if there's a home hardware and then there's a Billy's home hardware, sometimes it won't know where to put it. So it'll try to make a new vendor called Billy's home hardware. You don't want that. So again, if you see something and think, wow, I can't believe we've never had this vendor in this file before, you're going to want to go back over here to suppliers and you're going to want to make sure they're not in the list. Because if they are in the list already, then instead of adding a new vendor, you're just going to want to merge them together. So please keep all this in mind as you're working in Dext. And that's it for this video.